Howdy, welcome back for tea time. I am Coach Crazy Cat and I'm showing you how to create life balance 15 minutes at a day. You pick one area, spirit, mind, heart, or body to focus on, and today is about the mind. I've chosen The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy because it is a book that drastically changed my life and I can't wait to introduce you to it. Let's get going. Okay, today's Freedom Habitude is going to be based on 15 minutes in The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. If you like what I read and you want to get your own copy, then scan the QR code there. Try to make it easy for you. All right, I've got my timer set. I'm going to show you we can do this 15 minutes a day. Let's get going. Yeehaw. All right, so we are in chapter 1. And what you'll notice is I have my timer set. I know what book I'm reading, and I've set aside the time to do it. Chapter 1, The Compound Effect in Action. You know the expression, slow and steady wins the race? Ever heard the story of the tortoise and the hare? Ladies and gentlemen, I am the tortoise. Give me enough time and I will beat virtually anybody, anytime, in any competition. Why? Not because I'm the best or the smartest or the fastest. I'll win because of the positive habits I've developed and because of the consistency I use in applying those habits. I'm the world's biggest believer in consistency. I'm living proof that it's the ultimate key to success, yet it's one of the biggest pitfalls for people struggling to achieve. Most people don't know how to sustain it. I do. I have my father to thank about that. In essence, he was my first coach for igniting the power of the compound effect. My parents divorced when I was 18 months old, and my dad raised me as a single father. He wasn't exactly the soft and nurturing type. He was a former university football coach, and he hardwired me for achievement. Thanks to Dad, wake-up calls were 6 o'clock every morning, not by a loving tap on the shoulder or even the sound of a radio alarm. No, I was awakened each morning by the repetition, pile-driving sound of iron pounding on the concrete floor of our garage, situated next to my bedroom. It was like waking up 12 feet from a construction zone. He had painted a huge "no pain, no gain" sign on the wall of the garage, which he stared at while he did countless old-school strongman deadlifts, power cleans, lunges, squats. Rain, sleet, or shine, Dad was out there in his shorts and tattered sweatshirt. He never missed a day. You could set your watch by his routine. I had more chores than a housekeeper and gardener put together. Upon returning from school, there was always a list of instructions to greet me. Pull weeds, rake leaves, sweep the garage, dust, vacuum, do the dishes, you name it. And getting behind in school was not tolerated. That's just the way it was. Dad was the original no excuses guy. We weren't ever allowed to stay home from school sick unless we were actually puking, bleeding, or showing bone. Gross. The term showing bone came from his coaching days. His players knew they weren't allowed to come out of the game unless they were seriously injured. One time his quarterback asked to be pulled out of the game. Dad said, "Not unless you're showing bone." The quarterback pulled back his shoulder pads and sure enough, the collarbone was showing. Only then was he allowed to come off the field. Oh, that's tough. One of Dad's core philosophies was, it doesn't matter how smart you are, you need to make up in hard work what you lack in experience, skill, intelligence, or innate ability. If your competitor is smarter, more talented, or experienced, you just need to work 3 or 4 times as hard. You can still beat them. No matter what the challenge, he taught me to make up in hard work for wherever I might be disadvantaged. Miss free throws at the game? Do 1,000 free throws every day for a month. Not good at dribbling with your left hand? Tie your right hand behind your back and dribble 3 hours in a day. Behind in your math? Hunker down, hire a tutor, and work like heck all summer until you get it done. No excuses. If you aren't good at something, work harder, work smarter. He walked his talk too. Dad went from being a football coach to a top salesperson. From there, he became the boss and ultimately went on to own his own company. But I wasn't given loads of instruction. From the beginning, Dad let us figure it out. He was all about taking personal responsibility. He didn't hammer on us every night about homework. We just had to show up with the result. And when you did, you were celebrated. If we got good grades, Dad took us to Pring's, an ice cream parlor where you could get those king-size banana splits, 6 scoops of ice cream, and all the fixins. Many times my siblings didn't fare well in school, so they didn't get to go. Getting to go was a big deal, so you worked your behind off to win the trip. Dad's discipline served as an example for me. Dad was my idol. I wanted him to be proud of me. I also lived in fear of disappointing him. One of his philosophies is, be the guy who says no. It is no great achievement to go along with the crowd, be the unusual guy, the extraordinary guy. That's why I never did drugs. He never harped on about me on it, but I didn't want to be that guy who just went along because everyone else was doing it, and I didn't want to let Dad down. Thanks to my dad, by age 12, I'd mastered a schedule worthy of the most efficient CEO. Sometimes I griped and moaned. I was a kid. But even then, I secretly liked knowing I had an edge over my classmates. Dad gave me a serious head start on the discipline and mentality it takes to be dedicated and responsible to achieve whatever I set out to achieve. It's no accident the tagline of Success Magazine is "What Achievers Read." Today, Dad and I joke about what an addictive overachiever he trained me to be. At 18, I was making a six-figure income in my own business. By age 20, I owned my own home in an upscale neighborhood. By age 24, my income grew to more than $1 million in a year. And by age 27, I was officially a self-made millionaire with a business that brought me more than $50 million in revenue. That just about brings us to the present day, because I'm not yet 40, but I have enough money and assets to last my family the rest of my life. There are a lot of ways to screw up a kid, Dad said. At least my way was a pretty good one. You seem to have done pretty well. So while I admit I had to practice sitting on my hands, being present in the moment, or chilling out peacefully, while I had to practice, I always having to learn how to do these things, how to be quiet. Sitting in a beach chair from time to time without taking a pile of business books or self-improvement CDs with me, I'm grateful for the success skills I learned from my dad and other mentors along the way. The compound effect reveals the secret behind my success. I'm a true believer in the compound effect because Dad made sure I lived it each and every day until I couldn't live any other way if I tried. But if you're like most people, you're not a true believer. There are lots of perfectly understandable reasons why. You haven't had the same coaching and examples showing you what to do. You haven't experienced the payoff of the compound effect. As a society, we've been deceived. We've been hypnotized by commercial marketing, which convinces you of problems you don't have and sells you on the idea of insta-fixes to cure them. We've been socialized to believe in the fairy tale endings found in movies and novels. We've lost sight of the good old-fashioned value of hard and consistent work. Let's examine these hurdles one by one. You haven't experienced the payoff of the compound effect. The compound effect is the principle of reaping huge rewards from a series of small, smart choices. What's most interesting about this process to me is that even though the results are massive, the steps in the moment don't feel significant. Whether you're using this strategy for improving your health, your relationships, finances, or anything else for that matter, the changes are so subtle they're almost imperceptible. These small changes offer little or no immediate result, no big win, no obvious "I told you so" payoff, so why bother? Most people get tripped up by the simplicity of the compound effect. For instance, they quit after the 8th day of running because they're still overweight, or they stop practicing the piano after 6 months because they haven't mastered anything other than chopsticks, or they stop making contributions to their IRA after a few years because they could use the cash and it doesn't seem to be adding up to much anyway. What they don't realize is these small, seemingly insignificant steps completed consistently over time will create a radical difference. Let me give you a few detailed examples. Smart choices plus consistency plus time equals a radical difference. Just like the seeds I'm showing blowing in this picture, when they go out, seeds multiply. One seed grows a big plant, get thousands of seeds. It's pretty or hundreds of seeds. It's incredible. The magic penny. If you were given a choice between taking $3 million in cash this very instant and a single penny that doubles in value every day for 31 days, what would you choose? If you heard this before, you know the penny gambit is the choice you should make. You know it's the course that will lead to greater wealth. Yet why is it so hard to believe choosing the penny will result in more money in the end? Sorry, it's one of my cats. It's raining outside there. Ugh. Because it takes so much longer to see the payoff. Let's take a closer look. Let's say you take the cold, hard cash and your friend takes the penny route. On day 5, your friend has 16 cents. You, however, have 3 million. On day 10, it's 512 versus your big bucks. How do you think your friend is feeling about her decision? You're spending your millions, enjoying the heck out of it, and loving your choice. I put a chart together just to show you this actually works, because I didn't believe it. My background was accounting, and I put it into a spreadsheet. It actually works, believe it or not. So I put each week what it grows to. You think your friend is feeling, you're spending your millions, enjoying the heck out of it, and loving your choice. After 20 full days with only 11 days left, Penny Lane has only 5,243. How is she feeling about herself at this point? For all her sacrifice and positive behavior, she has barely more than $5,000. You, however, have $3 million. Then the invisible magic of the compound effect starts to become visible. The same mathematical growth improvement each day makes the compounded penny worth $10.7 million. On day 31, more than 3 times your $3 million. In this example, we see why consistency over time is so important. On day 29, you've got your $3 million. Penny Lane has about $2.7 million. It isn't until day 31 of this 31-day race that she pulls ahead with $5.3 million. And it isn't until the very last day of this month-long ultra marathon that your friend blows you out of the water. She ends up with $10.7 million to your $3 million. Very few things are as impressive as the magic of compounding pennies. Amazingly, this force is equally powerful in every area of your life. And that's why I teach the T method. Here's another example. 3 friends. Let's take 3 buddies who all grew up together. They live in the same neighborhood with very similar sensibilities. Each makes around $50,000 a year. They're all married and have an average health and body weight, plus a little bit of that dreaded marriage flab. Friend number 1, let's call him Larry, plods along, doing as he's always done. He's happy, or so he thinks, but complains occasionally that nothing ever changes. Friend number 2, Scott, starts making some small, seemingly inconsequential positive changes. He begins reading 10 pages of a good book per day, listening to 30 minutes of something instructional or inspirational on his commute to work. Scott wants to see changes in his life, but doesn't want to make a fuss over it. T method. He recently read on an interview with Dr. Oz and Success and chose one from the article to implement in his life. He's going to cut 125 calories from his diet every day. No big deal. We're talking maybe a cup of cereal or less, trading that can of soda for maybe a bottle of seltzer, switching from mayo to mustard on his sandwich. Doable. He's also started walking a couple of extra steps per day, less than a mile. No grand acts of bravery or effort. Stuff anyone could do. But Scott is determined to stick with these choices, knowing that even though they're simple, he could also easily be tempted to abandon them. Friend number 3, Brad, makes a few poor choices. He recently bought a big screen TV so he can watch more of his favorite programs. He's been trying out recipes seen on the Food Channel. The cheesy casseroles and desserts are his favorite. Oh, and he installed a bar in his family room and added 1 alcoholic drink per week to his diet. Nothing crazy. Brad just wants to live a little, have more fun. At the end of 5 months, no perceivable difference exists among Larry, Brad, or Scott. Scott continues to read a little bit every night and listen to audibles during his commute. Brad is enjoying life and doing less. Larry keeps doing as he always has. Even though each man has his own pattern of behavior, 5 months isn't long enough to see any real decline or improvement in their situations. In fact, if you charted the 3 men's weights, you'd see a rounding error of 0. They'd look exactly equal. At the end of 10 months, we still can't see noticeable changes in any of their lives. It's not until we get to the end of the 18th month that the slightest differences are measurable in these friends' appearances. But at month 25, we start seeing really measurable, visible differences. At month 27, we see an expansive difference. And by month 31, the change is startling. Brad is now fat while Scott is trim. By cutting 125 calories in a day in 31 months, Scott has lost 33 pounds. And he gives a little math equation to prove it out. Brad ate only 125 calories more in a day in the same time frame and gained 33.5 pounds. Now he weighs 67 pounds more than Scott, but the differences are more significant than weight. Scott's invested almost 1,000 hours reading good books and listening to self-improvement audios. By putting his newly gained knowledge into practice, he's earned a promotion and a raise. Best of all, his marriage is thriving. Brad, he's unhappy at work and his marriage is on the rocks. And Larry is pretty much exactly where he was 2.5 years ago, except he's a little more bitter about it. The phenomenal power of the compound effect is that it's simple. The difference between people who employ the compound effect for their benefit compared to their peers who allow the same effect to work against them is almost inconceivable. It looks miraculous. Like magic or quantum leaps, after 31 months or 31 years, the person who uses the positive nature of the compound effect appears to be an overnight success. In reality, his or her profound success was the result of small, smart choices completed consistently over time. The profound success was the result of small, smart choices completed consistently over time. This is what I have found in my life. I used to try to make these huge, big changes that I would never start and I wouldn't follow through. But when I started the little changes, reading the books, putting in the time with God, it really changed my life. The ripple effect. The results in the above example seem dramatic, I know, but it goes even deeper than that. The reality is that even one small change can have a significant impact that goes unexpected and unintended ripple effect. Let's put one of Brad's bad habits under the microscope, eating rich food more frequently, to better understand how the compound effect can also work in a negative way and can create a ripple effect that impacts your entire life. Brad makes some muffins from a recipe he learned from the Food Channel. He's proud and his family loves it, and it seems to add value all around. He starts making them and other sweets frequently. He loves his own cooking and eats more than his share, but not so much that anyone notices. However, the extra food makes Brad sluggish at night. He wakes up. Oh, there we go. That was the timer. So that was 15 minutes. So look how far we got. We read 10 pages, right? And we're halfway through the first chapter. And you've already been inspired, I'm sure, to think about little bits of time. So this book has 16 chapters in it. So in under 1 month, you'd be done easily. And this book will change your life for sure, as will the Bible. So anyway, that's that for now. You'll have to wait and come back later to see more about the compound effect. Oh, I do want to make sure that I point this out. This is the biblical principle for the T method, which is the method that, praise God, has been pulled together. It's the time efficiency accelerator method, and it shows you how to take small bits of time to really change your life. The big whole scale changes, the long to-do list, the beating yourself up does not work. What does work is dedicating 15 minutes of time to yourself every day to build that muscle, and then you'll learn to build other ones as well. So I want to challenge you to think about time in a new way. I want you to stop managing it. It does not work. I want you to think about investing in yourself, investing your most invaluable asset, which is your time, into a Freedom Habitude, which is built 15 minutes at a time. 15 minutes becomes 90 hours in a year. And in 90 hours, if you're working on your mind, you could read or listen to 12 to 18 books. So I want to let you know the T Method Bootcamp, which is going to take 1 hour to complete. So it'll be life-changing success in under an hour, is coming very soon. And I'll make sure that you guys are aware of it. So look for it. And with that, have a blessed day. Bye for now.